Hey, what's up, Varsity Sports Show? I'm Quentin Presley from Arizona State University, and today's segment is going to focus over to Chandler, where the Arizona Compass Prep Dragons get ready for one of the most interesting seasons in high school basketball. Let's get right into it. Led by five-star recruits Quincy Wadley, Mika Marinin, and Arizona's own Caden House, the Dragons are stacked with talent from both sides of the floor. They pose an intimidating threat of height, playmaking, and shooting at all positions, making them tough to game plan for. Their official schedule states that they will be playing 4 games this season, all against schools from different states, from the East Coast in Maryland and Virginia to the West with Cali and AZ. Although they've been playing as a team since as early as August, these are the games that will determine where they will fall in the fight for a state championship. That's all for this one. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Once again, from Arizona State University, for the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Quentin Presley.
I'm Julia Coyne at Arizona State University with the Varsity Sports Show. The Arizona State hockey team is currently 1-4-1, with it being their first year in the incredible National Collegiate Hockey Conference. Before, they were in the American Collegiate Hockey Association. ASU has been in the top 25 several times in their last couple of years. On Friday and Saturday night, they will be traveling to Marquette to play Northern Michigan. Northern Michigan is currently 1-3 in these preseason games. They have played each other in the past, and the Sun Devils have won both times in 2023 and in 2018. Last season, Arizona State went 24-8-6, and Northern Michigan went 12-16-6. Though Arizona State did better than last year, we don't know what to tell when they travel this year to Michigan. With seniors like Matthew Copperud leading the team, the Devils have a decent shot. Copperud tied for 4th in the NCAA in scoring 23 goals and broke the Sun Devils' high record of power plays. The Wildcats also has new freshman Billy Renfro, who had 20 goals and 32 assists for a total of 52 points. This preseason game is going to be interesting to watch for both teams. On the road for the Sun Devils, it's going to be a more difficult game. With the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Julia Coyne.
Hi everyone, I'm Roberto Astorga from Arizona State University with the Varsity Sports Show. With November coming, Arizona high school football enters playoff season. The best teams compete for state titles. In 4A, there is a team that is undefeated and ranked number 1 by AZ Preps 365. They are the Snowflake Lobos. They represent the entire city of Snowflake, Arizona, and the northwestern part of it. Being around 3 hours away from Phoenix, they have traveled to Show Low, Gilbert, Tempe, and even the Santan Valley on their undefeated season. Earlier in the season, I spoke with head coach Kay Sullivan. He shared with me his goal of developing his athletes into good students and citizens. On the field, he is shooting for a region title and to contend for the conference. The Lobos are doing just that, being first in the region and in the entire conference. Coach Sullivan also shared that his team was filled with experienced players. His players have been terrific, with senior running back Canton Turley having 8 rushing touchdowns. On the defense, senior linebacker Aiden Kaur leads the team with 14 tackles a game. Their starting quarterback, sophomore Jacob LeDuc, is one of the team's least experienced players, according to Sullivan. LeDuc looks like he's been playing for years, as he has 10 total touchdowns. The Lobos have a great coach and talented players. They represent their city with pride and have taken over the White Mountains. They look to take over Arizona with the 4A state championship. For the Varsity Sports Show, Roberto Astorga.
The Arizona Cardinals are coming off of a gritty walk-off Monday night win against the Los Angeles Chargers to bring their record to 3-4 on the young season. The Cardinals were led by their ground game as they rushed for 181 yards, 165 of them from James Conner and Kyler Murray. The defense was the story of this game as Jonathan Gannon and his defense had a much-needed bounce-back performance, not allowing a single touchdown and only allowing 15 points compared to the 34 they allowed against the Packers. They currently sit at second in the NFC West and just one game back of the Seattle Seahawks. The Cardinals have a tough task ahead of them, coming off of a short week as they head across the country to face the 2-4 Miami Dolphins, who are in much need of a win. The Dolphins, who have struggled so far to score, have reinforcements on the way as star quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is back after missing 4 weeks due to a concussion he suffered in Week 2 against the Buffalo Bills. With weapons all around him, the Dolphins will look to get back to their explosive ways, especially with Tyreek Hill being back with his quarterback. Both of these teams could use a win, so this game is going to be one to watch, as a loss really puts both teams in a tough spot. Cardinals will look to get rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. going again, as he has been held silent ever since his massive 130-yard and 2-touchdown performance in Week 2 against the Los Angeles Rams. Reporting for Varsity Sports, I'm Sam Lanier.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Varsity Sports Show. I'm Travis Bradley reporting to you from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. At the midpoint of the season, one thing is clear about the University of Arizona football program. They're not where they'd hoped they'd be. The Wildcats are sporting a less than desirable 3-4 record, and their most recent performance against head coach Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes raised quite a few questions about the program's ability to compete in the Big 12 Conference. Still, there's plenty of things to like about this team, and although their record isn't what they'd imagined it would be earlier this year, you can't deny the performances that some of their players have shown us in the first half of the season. Arizona will finish off their season with 5 consecutive conference matchups, starting off this week against the West Virginia Mountaineers and culminating in an in-state matchup against the 5-2 Arizona State Sun Devils. Quarterback.
And we are live here at Tolleson Union High School on a beautiful October Phoenix night as the Mountain View Toros come to Tolleson to take on the Wolverines. Mountain View is coming off a great season, going 6-1 right now in 6A, while Tolleson has had some struggles going 1-6. I'm joined with my guest, Olivia Prickett. Olivia, what do you have to say about this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an exciting matchup. You know, we have a 1-6 Tolleson Wolverines against a 6-1 Mountain View Toros. So there's definitely an underdog in the situation,
100%.
but it should be an exciting match for sure.
And one of the biggest factors that could potentially lead to an upset is tonight is Tolleson's senior night, so we will be sure to look out for a lot of the seniors on that team.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest players that Tolleson and Mountain View can expect? Let's start with Tolleson on their side.
Yeah, so wide receiver Rico blasting game for Tolleson, Amari Mitchell running back, and that's all I got on my sheet there for Tolleson.
What about Mountain View?
Yeah, for Mountain View I got Reese Bodley, Brady Goodman, and Tavita Tase.
Yep, those guys all had incredible games last week. Tolleson was taking on Desert Ridge. They lost by a lot, but they had some bright spots as far as Rico blasting game, like you said, going 6 catches for 61 yards last week. He had a nice game. On Mountain View's side, they had an absolute breakout game, as you said, from Reese Bodley, who had 24 carries for 318 yards as a running back, 13.3 yards per carry. And he's having a great season. He's at 718 yards and 10.7 yards a carry. He is having a fantastic year. And I think, in my opinion, he's the guy to watch tonight for Mountain View.
Yeah, so a lot to look out for on that field tonight for sure. We will be hearing from Layla Rudeman, who is our field correspondent tonight. She spoke to Tolleson and Mountain View's head coaches, so we'll be right back after we hear from them.
Layla Ruderman reporting live here from Tolleson High School, where I am joined with Tolleson head coach Rich Welbrock. Coach, you just mentioned to me prior to this that tonight is senior night. What does that mean to you and your team?
Just, from a standpoint of some of our kids that have been with us for 4 years and some of the kids that have been with us for a shorter time. Just obviously a very emotional evening for them, and they want to put out a good product for their senior night for their families and friends.
Tonight you're hosting Mesa Mountain View. They're very heavy with their run game. How have you prepared your defense this week?
They're pretty good just about everywhere. So we're just going to try to attack the parts that we can attack, and hopefully slow down their run game and slow up their passing game a little bit, and then put some points on the board on offense.
Lastly, who are some key players that fans should be looking out for you guys tonight?
our probably biggest two players would be number 2, Rico Blasingame, and then number 4, Amari Mitchell. They both play both ways, and they're always electric when they get the ball in their hands or they're playing defense.
Great. Thank you so much, and best of luck to you,
Thank
Coach.
you. Take care.
Thanks.
And we are back. We're ready to go here as Mountain View is set to kick off to Tolleson as they're back deep to receive. For Mountain View, we got number 15, Jamari Cheatham, who will be kicking off to Tolleson. Tolleson's got 2 back deep to receive. And we are almost underway here.
A lot of energy out there tonight from both sides. You know, Mountain View brought out their band for a pregame performance. Same with Tolleson, so good energy out there tonight.
And Gerard's kick will be fielded by Gerard's kick will be fielded by Tolleson, who will fumble, and that'll go back for a touchback. Cannot be returned. So Tolleson will start at the 25, and their offense will take over, led by their wide receiver, as we said, Nico Blasingame.
So we see Tolleson with the first shot at offense tonight, hopefully able to gain momentum early on in tonight's game.
Tolleson will start off at the 20 in shotgun. Ref is talking to a player. There's a little bit of confusion going on right now, as one of the refs was conferring with a Tolleson player. I believe it was number 17, Manny Gomez-Llanos. And I don't know if there was something going on with his like clothing or something. And he asked him to like get off the field, and a whistle will stop it. And we'll replay that down. Interesting, weird start to this game.
Yeah.
Not sure what happened there, but. Tolleson will stay back in shotgun. Got doubles on both sides. And he'll take the pass and give it up to the middle, and Mountain View's going to shut that down. And maybe for a loss of 1. Great play there by Mountain View's defense.
Yeah, Mountain View is known to have a pretty strong defense
Absolutely.
out there. So it'll be all up to the Wolverines tonight to really test that defense and just be a really strong offensive team tonight.
And they will have to do so with their running game, led by Amari Mitchell. We talked to the Tolleson head coach. He highlighted Amari Mitchell as one of the players. He had a big game against Desert Ridge last week, going 9 carries for 81 yards. We'll see if he can replicate some of that success. He's going to need it tonight. 2nd down and 11 in shotgun. And Tolleson will find Blasingame, who will be brought way back behind the line. A great shutdown there by Mountain View. Great tackle made there by Dominic Gerard. He shut that down. So that'll be a tackle for loss. It'll set up 3rd down and incredibly long for Tolleson. Not how they want to start this game. And a great job there by Mountain View's defense to recognize that screen and shut that down. It'll be 3rd down and 15. Tolleson running trips on the top of your screen. And they'll be in shotgun again. Tolleson to hike it. And he'll fire over the middle, tipped, and that'll be incomplete. Looking for number 82, Jose Soto, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and Mountain View is going to get an easy 3 and out, and they'll get their offense the ball.
Yeah, just a little bit of a miscommunication there as the ball looked to kind of skip through the offense there for the Wolverines, unable to make that play.
Yeah, it looks like quarterback for Tolleson was looking to put Jose Soto on maybe like more of an out route, and he cut in a little bit more than expected.
Yeah.
Ball was just a bit off coverage, and Mountain View will get an easy opportunity early in the game. Good snap. Mountain View almost blocked that one, and the punt will be short. It'll take a good bounce for Tolleson and will be picked up at the Tolleson 44. So great field position for Mountain View early, and the punter got pressured really heavily there. He almost had that one blocked.
Looks like communication's going to be key for not only the Wolverines but the Toros as well. Just really going out there and playing the game that they both know how to play. But so far, a little bit of miscommunication there from the Wolverines. Hopefully they're able to come back from that as they go into their defensive run right now.
Yeah, we talked to Mountain View's head coach earlier in this game. He said that the key to this game, if I remember correctly, was just being clean. He said he had a
Yeah.
great week of practice, just got to play their best game. You know, they're heavily favored, obviously being 6-1 going up against a 1-6 team.
Yeah.
So for Mountain View, it's just about being, dominant. And I think so far on that defensive side of the ball, they showed it. So there was apparently a running into the kicker penalty as Mountain View brought a ton of pressure on that punt, and that'll give them a first down. It's a huge break for Tolleson, and they will go right back to their offense. They hand it off to Amari Mitchell, who's just going to not really get anything. Mountain View got him good there. Great play by their defensive line.
Yeah, strong defensive play there from Mountain View as there seem to be 5 to 6 guys on that runner right there.
Yeah, and I think that's just a big component of this defensive line for Mountain View, led by a ton of different guys that anyone could really highlight at this time. Some guys like Tavita Tasse, as was highlighted by Mountain View's head coach. He's got 20 tackles on the season. He's having a great one. As Mountain View will pick up back, and they will try Mitchell up the middle, and they won't get much. That'll bring up third down and long. And Mitchell's struggling so far to get anything going right now.
And it looks to be that there is a running clock on the game tonight. So this game will go by faster than a normal football game.
And Aiden Vasquez, going back to get the play call, had a rough game last week against Desert Ridge, but who will say in shotgun? They're going to test him for the first time tonight. Got 5 receivers out. He bobbles a snap. He's going to get pressured, and he's just going to throw that one away. And just not a great play. Had a rough snap, and that'll bring up fourth down. And Tolleson will punt it again.
Yeah, Mountain View's done a really good job at just staying on top of their defense, especially rushing the quarterback there and just kind of allowing him to not make the plays that he needs to make right now.
Yeah, great start to this game by guys like Tasse, as we've said. Additionally, Myron Christensen is a big name that other people should know. Defensively, he had a big game last week, 10 tackles, has 38 tackles on the season, and an interception as well. A lot of guys you can highlight on this Mountain View defense, but those are just a couple of them.
Yeah.
And Tolleson will be forced to punt it again. High snap, and he gets it off no problem. It'll take a bounce at around the 45 and will roll and be downed at the 38 of Mountain View. So Mountain View will pick up this time for real at their own 38. And Tolleson will go back on defense. And we will get a Mountain View offense that is led mainly by the run game, Reese Bodley, the running back, as we highlighted earlier, but additionally with their quarterback, Brady Goodman, the young guy, had an incredible week last week, had 4 touchdowns on 184 yards, 64% completion on the season. He is really amazing. He's really grown a lot. Young guy, I believe he's either a sophomore or a junior.
Yeah.
So look for him to have a big game tonight. And additionally, look in his backfield at number 4, Reese Bodley. He'll start in shotgun. Going to let it go deep down, looking for, I believe it was Sumko, and a big catch there. That'll bring him all the way down to the 25. Mikey Sumko, what a catch.
Yeah, great job from Mountain View. Able to come into their offense for the first time in tonight's game and really make a big play right out the gate. You know, that connection from Goodman to Sumko, really prominent. And hopefully we'll see more from the Mountain View Toros like that tonight.
And flag before the whistle. Looks like it's going to be false start, so that'll move the Toros back 5 yards. And Mikey Sumko is having a decent season right now. Had 2 catches last week and has 7 catches on the season, but has 3 touchdowns. He also does the kick returns and averages 45 yards a kick return. So he is a big, explosive guy when you get him out in the middle of the field. Mountain View will go 1st and 15, run some motion from Zachary Galvez. Goodman will call Bodley in. Goodman will throw it down to Galvez. Galvez trying to find a blocker, and he will. He'll pick up about 10 or so. A nice catch from Galvez. And he's another guy that Brady Goodman will hopefully find a lot. He's having a great year, 18 catches for 277 and 4 touchdowns. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 7. Goodman in shotgun will call for motion from Arnett. Falls bodily in. And we will have some movement at the line again. Looks like it is going to be another false start on the Mountain View Toros. So 2 flags on the same series.
Yeah, hopefully tonight's not a penalty-heavy game.
So that'll move it back to a 2nd down and 12. Mountain View running triples on the top of your screen. Goodman calling him bodily again. And he will throw a screen pass. Looks like he's going to take one deep. He's looking for the end zone, and he's got a touchdown. Looks like it's Galvez, number 1. And yep, it's 6-0 Mountain View.
Wow.
What a start from the Toros, and what a start from Brady Goodman. Add another touchdown to him.
Just what amazing athleticism from Zachary Galvez as he just dives into that end zone. Like the ground isn't even, hard. He totally just took a dive in there, kind of tumbled around. Just overall great job by Zachary Galvez and great throw by Brady Goodman.
And Galvez, that's his 2nd catch of the game already. And that is now Brady Goodman's 26th passing touchdown of the year. Man, he is pretty amazing. Number 15, John Gerard, out for the extra point. No problem. It's 7-0 Mountain View. 7:30 to go. Tolleson is going to get the ball back for the 2nd drive. But what a start from Mountain View.
Yeah, and Mountain View is known to be a team where they get on the board pretty early on.
Yep.
They did it last week, and they are doing it again tonight. So nothing new from the Toros tonight, as it's expected that they come out firing.
Yeah, it came out last week. Had a great game against Mesa, 63-30 win. Absolutely thrashed them. But Mountain View 6-1. They're used to playing like that, and they're looking to do the same here. But absolutely in control early. And they probably didn't even use their best weapon, Reese Bodley, that much.
Yeah.
Really didn't go to the run there. Really relied on Goodman. And the Toros will kick it back off for the 2nd time tonight. And they're set to go. Gerard is ready.
Taking his time, kind of calming himself down as he goes in.
Off from the 40. It's a good kick. It'll be fielded inside the end zone, and it'll be taken for a touchback. So, good start from Gerard. Both of his kicks gone for touchbacks, and Tolleson will start back on the 20 for the 2nd drive of the game. And we'll see how Aiden Vasquez and the Wolverines can respond. Really didn't get any kind of offense going outside of that one flag on that first drive with the roughing the kicker. So we'll see if they can get someone going here.
Yeah, definitely looking for a little bit of a gain in momentum from the Wolverines, as this is their 2nd drive on offense against the Toros, who were able to do something with their 1st drive on offense.
Vasquez will start in shotgun. We'll hand it off to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to bounce to the edge, and he will break a tackle and be pushed out of bounds for a pick of about 4 or 5. Decent play. And that was actually number 18, Terrion Clark, the wide receiver in motion there, going for the pickup. Not Mitchell, excuse me. So Mountain View will have about 2nd down and 5. And we got a whistle.
Another penalty?
I don't see a flag. It looks like they're talking to the sideline of Tolleson. Not sure what's going on right now. Tolleson's getting another man on the field. Substitution. They subbed out Blasingame, the number 1 wide receiver, and they will put Mitchell back in there. Interesting play. In shotgun again, trips at the top of your screen. And they will hand it off. And Mountain View just going to shut that one down. Nothing going there. Great job by that defensive line again. Swarmed him.
Yeah, Tolleson just going right into that Mountain View defense. not really seeing any success in gaining any yards against the Toros defense. So Toros are definitely on top of their game tonight, for sure.
Exactly what they were hoping for, as our coach said. And we've got Anthony Scott Jr. in the backfield. Vasquez in shotgun again on 3rd down and 5. He'll drop back and find Blasingame. Blasingame made the catch. It will be incomplete. And it was broken up by the Toros. Looks like it was number 3, Dominic Girard, one of their key cornerbacks who got in there to make the pass incomplete. And the Wolverines will be forced to punt again. On 4th down and 5, 6:40 to go. High snap, and it's blocked. And Mountain View got a hands on it. Looks like it was number 0, Jasper Lake, the safety, who blocked the punt, and Mountain View will take over with much better field position. They almost blocked the first punt, and they will get a hand on that one. And a huge play for Mountain View there. They'll have a lot better field position.
Yeah, the Toros just living up to Linton's, what he said about the game tonight, just playing a clean game and like they know how to play. Doing a really good job of staying true to that statement.
Yeah, and a big improvement off of that first block punt. Looks like there was some adjusted play off of that first punt because they ran at the kicker there. But fully laying out there, going all out, and making a huge play there. Great play out of Jasper Lake. He's having a great season for the Toros. And so it'll be the second drive for Goodman. Goodman under center. He'll call for motion. And he will play action to Bodley. Oh, and they will run with Bodley, excuse me. And a great play fake. He'll pick up about 10 yards just right off the middle, running behind a very strong Toros offensive line. So it'll be 2nd down and short. They're going to say it's a 9-yard pickup for Bodley. And they will start off in under center again, calling for motion. And they will hand it to Bodley. Bodley's going to cut, and he will push his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Mountain View. It is 13-0 already. Touchdown, Reese Bodley.
Yeah, the Toros are doing an amazing job tonight, just coming out and being that stronger team. Tolleson is trying to figure out some things on both their offense and defense. Hopefully they're able to figure that out as we are in the middle or nearing the end of this first quarter.
And Gerard will be back out there to kick the extra point. 13-0 Mountain View right now. Clean snap, and Gerard has no problem putting that one through the post. It is 14-0 Mountain View as Reese Bodley picks up his 7th rushing touchdown of the year as he gets 2 carries for 15 yards on that drive. And Mountain View is looking sharp. It's 14-0. We're halfway through the first.
Yeah, despite the Wolverines being down, they have a really energetic sideline.
It's senior night, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully they're able to gain a little bit of momentum here going into the second quarter.
And Tolleson will now pick it up for their 3rd drive in the quarter. And for Mountain View, this is exactly what they had hoped for, and they've executed perfectly outside of just a couple penalties. Really good start from them. And Tolleson's got to get something going. They got to find some way to get some kinds of yards or just have some play that gets them some momentum.
Yeah.
Gerard making his 3rd kick. First 2 have been good for touchbacks. And it's another strong one. It'll be fielded by Quentin Gavin at the 2. He'll bring it up the right side, and it'll be shut down about the 20. The ball popped out at the end. They will say that he was down. So Gavin will return that one for about 17, 18 yards, and Tolleson will pick up about touchback at the 20. And Aiden Vasquez will return for his 3rd drive of the game. Had a rough game against Desert Ridge, going 10 for 20 and only 97 yards and 2 interceptions. So he's coming off of a rough one, but hopefully he can turn this one around. In shotgun, he'll fake the handoff, go to Blasting Game on another screen, and Blasting Game will get about 6 or so. Decent pickup for them as Blasting Game has his first reception of the game.
Yeah, good little run there from Blasting Game. He seemed ready out there, just unable to make it past that Toros defense.
That'll be officially ruled as a pickup of 5, so it'll bring them down a second down and 5. And I think that's where Tolleson just has to, get something going. They can't really take too many deep shots right now with how good Mountain View's defensive line is. So I think they just got to get those small pickups. Mountain View going to pretend to bring some pressure, and they will. They'll hand it off, cuts to the left side. He's going to find some daylight, and he's still running Mitchell with a great run, and he will make it all the way down to the 43. It's a nice pickup of 18, and Mountain View will move the chains for the first time tonight. Great run by Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell was ready, and he was ready to, break some ankles out there in that Toros defense.
Yeah.
Done a really good job.
Yeah, great couple of jukes to extend that play after the initial contact.
Testing the Toros defense for really the first time tonight.
Tolleson's running trips at the bottom of your screen. Vasquez gets the ball, going to hand it off to Mitchell again, and he will not get much, maybe got a yard. And I think that off of just looking at those two plays alone, where you saw a play going more horizontally versus vertically, I think that Tolleson really has to go kind of around players, not run through them because of the strength difference of their offensive line.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. I never really thought of that.
So it'll be ruled as a pickup of 2. Vasquez comes back out there in shotgun. Again, going with 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. And he will do another screen to Blasting Game, just kind of overthrew him. And that'll be an incompletion. It'll set up 3rd down and 8 from the Wolverines 46. Looking for Blasting Game again there.
Yeah, Aiden Vasquez just struggling to connect with Blasting Game out there on the right side of the field.
And with 3rd down and 8, Aiden Vasquez will probably be forced to throw something kind of over the middle of the field. Hasn't really done so tonight, at least successfully. And we'll see if he goes to Blasting Game on something else besides a screen, as Blasting Game is his number 1 target, but we really haven't seen him on anything else besides a screen.
Yeah.
Vasquez in shotgun on 3rd down and 8. He'll drop back and looks deep at the top, and it's just going to be incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down, as he just overthrew his receiver, wasn't completely in control of that one. And we'll see on 4th down, Aiden Vasquez will come off the field, and Tolleson will punt it for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, good effort there, though, from Vasquez, really just trying to get the ball in the air and see if anything good could come out of it, and just unfortunately falling short of that.
Mountain View almost got another hand on it there by Jasper Lake, and that'll be a short punt, and it'll roll around the 30-yard line of Mountain View, and Mountain View will pick up on their 3rd drive. Vasquez was looking there on that 3rd down play, looking for Jose Soto, one of his wide receivers, who he's looked deep on him on a couple of 3rd down plays. Wonder if he's maybe the guy to go to when you need a big play.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Mountain View's offense throughout the game, if they maybe shift more towards running the ball over passing the ball as they have a lead. And if they do so, they have, Reese Bodley, what a game last week, and I'm sure that they will rely heavily on him as they did last drive.
Yeah. Brady Goodman's done a good job tonight, also just keeping the Toros in this, ahead in this game.
Just keeping them dominant, yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of a break here for both teams as we near the end of this first quarter with 3 minutes and 46 seconds left on the game clock.
And another penalty will be called against Mountain View. No communication, really. I think that there might have been something going on with the hold, so Tolleson will actually have the ball back. This is the 2nd time we've seen this on a punt. They'll go straight to the ground again. And again, I'm not sure what the penalty was. This is kind of weird. Mountain View that's the second time that they've had a chance to get the ball back and just haven't. So bad penalties, but they will get a tackle for loss there as they bring down Mitchell in the backfield, and that'll set up a 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if these penalties being called against Mountain View will kind of deter their momentum once they do gain possession of the ball in offense.
Yeah, and it'll extend a Tolleson drive into Mountain View territory down to their 43. 2nd down and 13. Vasquez in shotgun. And he's going to look deep to Blasingame. Blasingame just couldn't find it. That'll set up 3rd down and 13. But a quick little pass there. He knew where he was going, looking for his number 1 target there at the bottom of your screen. But he couldn't find him.
Yeah, and as we're seeing more of this connection to Blasingame from Vasquez, I'm curious if we'll be able to finally see a connection really dialed in and work out in the end for the Wolverines.
Yeah, pretty sure he's been targeted 4 times, only has 1 catch, and it was on a little screenplay. So had a lot of catches last week, 6 of them, but not really finding that success tonight.
Yeah.
They'll motion, and they pick the handoff. Vasquez will look over the middle, has a nice connection and a 1st down, a big catch there by Manny Gomez-Llanos. And that'll move the chains and a big push momentum. Unfortunately, there is a flag down for Tolleson. I'm not sure who it's going to be on. Refs are conferring at about around the 20. If it stands, it'll be the ball will be placed around the edge of the red zone. Wow.
Yeah.
And it looks like they will wave off the penalty and move the chains down, and that ball will be placed on the 23. But what a nice catch there by Manny Gomez-Llanos for the sophomore. And Tolleson will have their drive extended.
Yeah, good gain from the Wolverines.
No wide receivers in the backfield for Vasquez. He'll call for motion, and they'll pitch it in there. And he will move up the field, pick up about 4. I believe that was number 2. I believe it was Rico Blasingame.
Yeah.
An interesting play there.
Yeah, Blasingame getting possession of the ball and really just taking his body and kind of throwing it onto the ground, just trying to gain as much as he can in that run.
Yeah, and that's a successful play for Tolleson. They pick up about 4 yards. If they can just move the ball forwards and not take any sacks, not take any tackles for loss, especially in the red zone here, I think that's a successful play on 1st down.
Yeah.
2 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. Vasquez is going to set up in shotgun. And he will dump it off to number 1, Quentin Gavin. He will break some tackles and move in for the 1st down, all the way down to the 11. It's a pickup of 8, and Tolleson will move the chains. And a nice job there by the quarterback, Aiden Vasquez, just getting the ball out quick, finding his wide receiver, and he looks a lot better on this last drive.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, Vasquez just making that connection with Blasingame and not really finding much success. But now we're seeing his connections kind of forming with other players.
Exactly, like Gomez-Llanos and Quentin Gavin there. So he's got options. And they will stay with Vasquez again. 5 wide receivers here. 3 at the top of your screen, 2 at the bottom. They'll motion Blasingame, and they will pitch it to Blasingame. Oh, it's going to be a reverse. And they will move it to Gavin. And the quarterback blocking, and that'll be a nice pick of about 5. And a nice play there by Gavin, switching it up here.
Yeah, good defense there from Dominic Girard for the Mountain View Toros. Really hyped up about that tackle there as he was able to prevent the Wolverines from gaining more than the Toros really want.
Yeah. Interesting play that they went to the trick play.
Yeah.
And just tried to switch something up. The Toros will take back over on about 2nd down and 5. Vasquez in shotgun, 3 wide receivers at the top of your screen. He will pitch it off to Mitchell, who somehow breaks a tackle. He's in no man's land there, and he's going to be tackled for a huge loss. This is bad. Ooh, man, he lost about 13 or so. Mitchell, that was not pretty for him, but there's nothing he can really do about that. Got absolutely swarmed by the defensive line.
Yeah, and it looks like, if I'm seeing this correctly, would that be Blasingame or is that number 4?
It's number 4, Mitchell. He was running that one, yeah.
Yeah, seeming visibly upset, maybe even a little bit.
Banged up, yeah.
Yeah.
And he will come off there for a play. as we will almost definitely have a throwing play here. 5 wide receivers, no running backs. So Vasquez, 10 seconds left in the first. Looks like they're going to try to get a play up here in shotgun. Take this one. And he will throw it over the middle, looking for Gavin, just couldn't find it. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Interesting decision here. It'll be a 37, 38-yard field goal. It's 4th down and 18. So will they kick it or will they not? And the strength of their kicker is really up in the air right now. It's been changing throughout the season.
Yeah.
And it looks like Vasquez is going to stay out there. So a big gutsy move here, but down 2 scores, you might as well do something here.
3 seconds left on the clock, too.
In the first quarter, yep. And Vasquez on 4th down and about 18 from the 20. He'll drop back in shotgun. Looks for the end zone, finds Blasingame, and he got 2 feet in bounds. And touchdown. What a big play for the Tolleson Wolverines. Rico Blasingame with a touchdown. That's his 5th on the season. And as quarter 1 ends, we've got a 1-score game. It's 14-6 Mountain View, but Tolleson with a big drive there.
Yeah, Tolleson just going all out on that last 3 seconds that they had to do really anything, and ending this first quarter with
6 points, yeah.
Yeah.
And a big mistake for Mountain View. Had a chance to get the ball back, but again, that flag on that punt will end up costing them either 6 or 7 points. And yeah, and Mountain View's goal was to stay clean, but unfortunately on that play there, they weren't able to hold him. And Blasingame will try the 2-point conversion. It was a wildcat formation. He's going to get swarmed. So a failed 2-point conversion, but overall a successful drive. We'll say 14-6, and we'll take a break after the 4th quarter. All right, and we are back here for the start of the second quarter as Tolleson will kick it off to Mountain View. Kick from the 40. We'll bounce around the 20 and be fielded by Mountain View. And then we'll pick it up, run towards the center. And breaking some tackles is number 2, Mikey Sumko, and he will eventually be tackled around the 24.
Yeah, good run there from Sumko. You know, finding all the gaps in that Wolverines defense there. Now we'll see if the Wolverines can come out with that momentum that they had, the success that they had in the final seconds of that first quarter with that touchdown. Unable to make that 2-point conversion, but we saw a lot of new things from the Wolverines, so this will be an interesting quarter to see what they can do.
And Mountain View will start off in shotgun from about the 33. And Goodman will move back in shotgun, looking for Sumko. Sumko makes a catch around the 37. He'll move it up down to the 50, and that's a big pickup. Got about 20 or so yards, and that'll be an easy first down. Great play there on Mikey Sumko's screen.
Yeah, just the connection that Brady Goodman has with his, receivers. It's just really proving to be successful for them, as we've known this whole season, given that they will make an appearance in the playoffs.
Yeah, almost definitely. Goodman under center, and he will fake the handoff. and he will just dump it down to his tight end, who will be tackled after a pickup of about 5 yards. That's number 18 there, Porter Wilhelm, who had a great game. 8 receptions for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns against Mesa last week. So looking to replicate some of that success. First catch of tonight. Mountain View's going to take a bunch formation. They'll take a big 3 guys in motion, and he'll go under center. And Goodwin will pitch it. Flag in the backfield. Looks like that's going to go against Mountain View. If it stands, it'll be a pickup of about 2 or 3 on the pitch to Reese Bodley. But I think this one's definitely going to come back. Mountain View's coach doesn't look happy about this one.
Yeah, good little handoff there from Goodman to Bodley.
Unfortunately for Mountain View, it'll be an illegal formation, and they will be brought back. And that'll make it second down and a lot longer than it was about to be. Make it about second down and 13, second down and 12. And so that'll push it back to the Tolleson 48. Looks like they called in for that bunched up formation. Goodman under center. And he will run this one to Bodley, who's just going to cut right up the middle, and he will run for about 11 or 12. It's going to be close if he got the first down. I don't think he's going to. They'll spot him a yard short or so, but a nice run from him. Great look there by the Mountain View offensive line.
Yeah, Bodley is tiny but mighty and able to find all those gaps in that Wolverines defense. Good run.
And third down and 1, they're just going to run it quickly, and they will use that big offensive line to just move forward for about 3 yards. Great quarterback keep there by Brady Goodman. And that'll move the chains.
Yeah, despite the calls that have been against the Toros tonight with all those penalties, they've been able to kind of hold their own for sure. And
I mean, they have the lead, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of penalties, but they've been able to come back from that. Words.
Yeah. Goodman and shotgun, 2 wide receivers on the bottom of your screen. They'll look somewhat deep for this, and it's going to be dropped there by Mikey Sumko. Had a nice catch there, but Sumko just not able to haul it in, and it'll be second down and 10. But you love to see the connection that Goodman and Sumko have had so far.
Yeah.
And really target him a lot more. Only had 2 catches in last week's game, only 7 on the season, but he already has 2 tonight. And so we'll see an increased look from him. There is going to be a holding call against Mountain View, so another penalty. And as this game goes on, it seems that they have gotten away from what their coaches wanted. It's just the clean game.
Yeah.
And a lot of penalties so far. And that'll move them back 10 yards, cause a first down and 20. First and 20 from the Tolleson 43. Goodman and shotgun. He'll call for motion of Porter Wilhelm. Move Bodley up. And Bodley's going to move the other way on a nice run. And he will break a tackle, move to the edge, and get about 10 yards. And that will bring back the yards they lost due to the holding call. Nice run from him.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of success from Goodman, able to make those connections with his receivers. Despite the fact that, like I said earlier, they've had a lot of penalties called against them, but able to gain some yards.
Yeah, this Mountain View's team has played a lot better than just a 7-point lead, but all of those penalties have started to, especially on that last drive from Tolleson, they were about to get the ball back and, had that penalty on that punt, and Tolleson was able to get a touchdown out of that. So Mountain View has looked much better in this game. If they can just limit those penalties, all those calls against them, they should have no problem blowing this one out. But I think if you're the Mountain View coach right now, you got to be a little bit frustrated in all these penalties.
Yeah, for sure, especially the fact that he came into this game just like we've mentioned, wanting a clean game and just going out and playing like they know how to play. And we've seen that they know how to play, and they've done an amazing job. Yeah, but it's just the penalties that have kind of stunted their momentum
and just kept Tolleson in this game.
Yeah.
And there will be a timeout right now. Looks like it was on Tolleson as they wanted to get their defense set. So when we get back, it'll be a second down and 10 from the Mountain View 33. From the Tolleson 33. And it looks like Tolleson's ready to go.
good little reset for them.
Yeah.
Both teams, really.
Yeah, way to get their defense a bit of a break, and just make sure that you're set, because this is a big opportunity for Tolleson to get a stop. And if you're Mountain View right now, you kind of have to get a score to just get that momentum back.
Yeah.
Get that 2-score lead back. Goodman will start off way under center, only 2 wide receivers set, so obviously going to be a run to Bodley. He'll just move up the middle and get about 5 or 6. Decent run, it'll set up 3rd down and short. This is a big play coming up here. From here, it is about a 44, 45-yard field goal. Gerard has looked great as a kicker, but I don't know how much they're going to test him, so it might be a 4 down territory here if you don't get the 1st down here. And they want to move fast. Goodman's staying under center. They'll give it to Bodley, and he will move up the middle, and he's going to break some tackles, and he will easily get the 1st down, moving all the way down to the 17 is a pickup of 11.
Yeah, great job. Another great connection from Goodman to Bodley, and that's just a connection that we're going to have to be familiar with all throughout the rest of the game tonight.
And they've gone to him a lot. Easily the most ran play, going to that run play up the middle, and just using that big offensive line to move through Tolleson. And again, they will use that big bunched up formation. Going to stay with Goodman under center. We'll see if they go to Bodley here again. They will. Just going to move to that left side, move up the sideline. He'll cut back. He'll find an edge. He will find the end zone, it looks like. Did he get in there? They will say he's marked a couple yards short.
It looks like
he might have stepped out of bounds, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like head coach Andy Linton is really upset about that. He
thought it was in, yeah.
Looks like it was in for a touchdown.
And the refs will confer, and they will say that he got in there, and it'll be 20-0 on a touchdown from Reese Bodley. That is now his 8th touchdown on the year, 2nd touchdown on the game. He's having a fantastic one on that 17-yard running touchdown. And so Mountain View will go back to that 2-score lead. It's 20-0, and Gerard will hope to make it a 15-point game. And looks like Mountain View is going to do a surprise play here. Really weird formation. They'll run the pass, and it'll be an easy touchdown. What just happened? What a play. Rain Curiel, the linebacker who normally lines up for them, got the touchdown pass from Taylor Arnett, the wide receiver. What an interesting play, and that'll get them the 2-point conversion, and it'll be a 22-6 lead. Technically still a 2-score game, but wow, what an interesting move there by the Mountain View head coach, taking advantage of some momentum, and all the momentum kind of swings back to Mountain View on this drive. Great response by them.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen a lot of confidence there on the Toros side, and that just really seals the deal for them. Being able to make that 2-point conversion is not easy.
Yeah, especially the decision to go for that at this stage in the game, only in the 2nd quarter. Interesting call there, but I love it, especially when it works like that. And so Tolleson will be forced to get back out there and get another touchdown or something like that. And Mountain View will kick it back off to them. 8:22 to go here in the 2nd. But what a great response by Mountain View, and what a great response by Reese Bodley. Had an incredible drive there, as he already has 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, and we will see John Girard out there again for the Toros to kick the ball. He's had a lot of success tonight.
Looks like the wind blew his tee over. Took a long time setting that one up, so I don't know if it's potentially affecting him. And he'll get it set. Been great on all of his kicks so far. All pretty much have been all touchbacks outside of one, which was returned all the way to the 20. So.
Yeah, and it seems like he has a little bit of a routine.
Yeah.
That he's got going on.
Takes it really slow going out there and just really centers himself, and it works. 2 touchbacks so far tonight from him. And a decent kick here. It will go into the end zone, and it'll be another touchback. Nice kick from him. And Tolleson will start from the 20, and they will pick up on another drive, hoping to get another touchdown just like last one. So Aiden Vasquez will return after he had a nice touchdown drive there, connecting to Rico Blasingame. Hit a lot of different wide receivers on that last drive, so we'll see what the different play call is, whether he wants to go to Blasingame or some other wide receivers like Soto or Gomez Llanos, or if they want to run the ball more.
Yeah,
We'll
because
see.
we know that connection's there for them.
And some movement on the left side of the line, and that'll push Tolleson back 5 yards, and that'll make it 1st and 15.
Yeah, so this puts Mountain View in the position to score again.
Yeah, especially moving that back. And if you're Tolleson right now, especially with how slow their defense has been, you really need to start with better field position and not have those kind of penalties. But it'll be 1st down and 15. Vasquez at shotgun. Hand it off to Mitchell, and he will take a big hit after about 2 yards, and that'll be a pickup of about 2 or so. And all right run from Mitchell, but their offensive line on that play looked like it was able to move some bodies and get some kind of gaps for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Mitchell just going straight into the middle of the defense there. Big swarm.
Yeah, not really able to get much, but yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be 2nd down and about 13. Vasquez in shotgun again. Mitchell to his left. 2 wide receivers on both sides. And they'll move him in motion. Moves it to Gavin, who ran in motion, pitched it to him, and he'll run up the sideline and will pick up about 4 or 5 yards. Decent run for him, and it'll be 3rd down and 7 after that. Technically a rushing play from Gavin.
Yeah, we saw a lot of speed from Quentin Gavin on that run. But
great ability to just get to the edge, but also a better ability by Mountain View just to shut that down, recognize the almost a little bit of a trick play, and shut that down.
Yeah, keeping their strong defensive game.
3rd down and 7. Tolleson in shotgun. 3 wide receivers at the top of your screen, and Vasquez will drop back. The lefty will fire over to Rico, blasting game, and he will jump his way across the line for the 1st down, and it's a big catch and a big 1st down for Tolleson. They will move the chains. Great play there by Blasting Game and his connection with Vasquez.
Yeah, and we'll start to see that connection more.
Yeah.
Like we noted earlier on in the 1st quarter. But now that the Wolverines have this run on offense, we'll see that connection there from Vasquez and Blasting Game.
Absolutely his number 1 target to go to, and he'll stay in shotgun. 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. And he will hand this one off, and it will get just shut down. Great play there by Caleb Larson, the defensive end, who had 7 tackles last week, and he's going to shut that one down. That is probably going to go for his 10th tackle for loss on the season. He's having an insane season. Absolutely one of the highlights of this Mountain View Toros defense.
Yeah.
So that'll be a loss of about 2 or 3, and it'll move the Wolverines back.
Now the Wolverines just really need to
get something going, yeah.
Yeah, calm down and just really get their momentum up.
Vasquez in shotgun, 3 wide receivers at the bottom of the screen. And he will fire one across the middle. It'll be caught for a pickup of about 3. And now they'll say it was incomplete. Yeah, some people thought it was incomplete. It will be ruled as a catch, or no, they will say it was incomplete.
Yeah, it seemed to be as if he hit the ground, the ball just kind of fumbled out of his hands.
And we ruled as an incompletion, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 12, and another big 3rd down and long, where Tolleson's actually been decent at being able to get that 1st down. We saw last series able to hit Blasting Game. We'll see if he goes to him again or if he goes to someone else. 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. In shotgun again, as he's been main formation on this drive. He'll drop back, look for a Blasting Game, and he'll be hit very hard after a pick of about 4, and a great job by that Toro defense. Looks like it was number 11, Rain Curiel, who hit him hard, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and Tolleson will be forced to punt this one away. Great stop by the Mountain View Toro defense.
Yeah. Six minutes left in the 2nd quarter.
And that punt is going to be low. It'll take a big bounce. Mountain View is going to take advantage of that bounce and catch it and run it back to about the 48-49 of their own territory. And a great run there by Toros.
Yeah, we're starting to see Rico Blasting Game, number 2 for the Wolverines. He's just really in this game, and we see the fight in him on the sidelines and on the field, as he's just really thrown himself into that game. but his team just unable to really
Work around him,
get going.
And the Mountain View Toros will take over. And it looks like with their more bunched up formation, timeout here, that they really are relying more on Reese Bodley to run the football more.
Yeah.
And just kind of grind that Wolverines defense down, as they've relied less on Goodman and more on Bodley throughout the last couple drives. A couple guys will substitute on the offensive line, as the refs will leave that one dead. Another miscommunication play out of here, as Mountain View really can't get set. Again, this is what we were talking about earlier. Their coach is not happy walking on that field, and just they really can't figure this one out. And eventually they will be forced to call a timeout. And when we talk about this game being a clean game, or the Mountain View coach does, like, this is the stuff that he's talking about. Being able to get set and have all those guys on the field, just not really communicating well with those offensive linemen.
Yeah, and it seems to be that head coach for the Wolverines just really upset about the way that they're playing tonight. But you got to respect the fight that they've exerted in tonight's game, despite the fact that they're down 6-22.
Yeah. Just over halfway through the second quarter. Mountain View around midfield when we get back from this timeout. It's a quick one. And so Goodman will take back over at his own 49. Got Reese Bodley, the big running back, who's blazed through the Wolverines so far this game in his backfield. And he'll set up under center again. And he will give it to none other than Bodley, who will cut up the middle. Won't get much, as it's really the first time that they've been able to shut him down. And they're hyped about that one.
Yeah.
Nice tackle there by the defensive line. Got a couple different guys in there. Oscar Sanchez, one of those guys who made that tackle, or at least combined to make that tackle. He had a great game last week with 7 tackles against Desert Ridge, and he's having a nice one so far, especially with that play. Second down and about 9 or 8. Goodman will stand shotgun. He's going to look to go back to the air. And the ball came loose. It was a strip sack. Who has it? And Tolleson says that they have it, and his arm got hit, and it'll look to be recovered by Mountain View, but a big play by Tolleson, and that will make it a big, long third down. Great play by their defensive line.
Yeah, great job by the Wolverines. Number 28, and she really hyped up there, showing his muscles as he celebrates that big play for the Wolverines.
And they will rule it as an incompletion. So they say that he eventually got the ball out, but it'll still be third down and 8. Still a great play for Tolleson, as he will go all the way back down to Bodley. He's going to have some room and some blockers all the way down to 20. What a nice play there, all the way down to the 16. And a great play there by that offensive line. All those blockers just creating that diversion, as Goodman moved to the right and then flipped it all the way over to Bodley, who had a great run there. Picked up about 33 yards.
Now, it seems that there may be a little bit of a communication there from the refs.
Yeah, there's a flag down on the field, and both teams are going to move back. That's not good news for Mountain View, as you see some of their players just have their head in the air, just kind of frustrated with this because it's surely a penalty against them. We'll get the call now.
Really good loft throw.
And not exactly sure what they'll mark it as. And they will rule it. They're just going to call this penalty off. So they threw a phantom flag. Tolleson's not happy about this one. So this is the second time that the refs have gotten together and just called the penalty off. So I don't know what's going on with them, but so Mountain View will still have this ball at the 16 after a great pass from Goodman to Bodley, who picked up 33 yards. And Goodman will start under center. We'll get another whistle, as it looks like Tolleson is going to take another timeout and just regroup and try to get a red zone stop here.
Yeah, after that momentum play from Goodman to Bodley, the little loft throw that resulted in, it ended up gaining yards for Mountain View instead of
them,
losing. Yeah. So Tolleson has a little bit to come back from for sure as we reach the end of this second quarter and go into halftime with a score of 6-22, the Wolverines down. It's just all about really calming themselves down and just kind of playing a cleaner game.
Yeah. And they've managed to hang in here, only 2 scores. But right now, if the Mountain View Toros get any kind of points here, make it a 3-score game, which is just looks a lot tougher on that scoreboard. So for Tolleson right now, you really have to get a stop here. And yeah, Tolleson really, head coach really laying it into the refs there. I'm not exactly sure what happened. They threw the flag, walked the players 33 yards back, and then when the players were 33 yards back, they said there's actually no call and made them go all the way back. So frustrating play, especially for Tolleson there.
Yeah. We'll see how good of a fight the Wolverines can put up against this Mountain View offense. See if their defense can really start to fire up.
Had a couple good plays on that earlier in this drive with the shutting down Bodley and getting the almost strip sack. So we'll see if they can build on that. Play action to Bodley. We'll dump it down to his tight end, Wilhelm, who will be initially stopped, but he'll keep going for a little bit. That's a nice catch by, Tyrion Clark, the wide receiver, who has only had 2 catches on the season, but a nice one there, and that'll pick up about 6 or so, 7. And it'll be second down and short, 4.5 to go. And Goodman going to move fast, going to move under center. And he will move this one to Bodley. And Bodley's going to cut it up, and he will pick up a good gain. Got about 5 or so. It'll move the chains, and it'll be first down and goal from about the 5. And the Toros just moving it down Tolleson's throats. Really good offense led by Bodley.
Yeah. Good defensive play there, though, by the Wolverines.
Yep, keep shutting it down and keep not allowing Bodley to get anything more than he's going to.
Yeah.
And play action. He will roll out looking for the end zone. That's a touchdown. Number 13 for Mountain View. That is Talon Arnett, the big wide receiver. Hasn't had a lot today, but he is one of their big leaders on the season. And he calls in that one. It is now 28-6 as Arnett adds to his 15th touchdown through the air. That he's caught. Brady Goodman now has his 27th touchdown of the year and his second of the game. And for Arnett, his first catch of the game tonight.
Yeah.
And that'll extend the lead as Mountain View takes a 3-score lead. Extra point is low, but it's in, and it's 29-6. Mountain View's got a 23-point lead with 3:58 to go here in the second quarter. And after that touchdown from Tolleson, from the Rico Blasting game caught, they've really responded well. Got a couple touchdowns from Bodley and then Goodman to Arnett. So they've responded really well after that.
Yeah.
And they now have a pretty big lead. Again, they will get the ball at the start of the second half. So a lot of momentum going from them.
See the Wolverines taking the field, looking to just come back from, how they've done tonight. They haven't done a horrible job. They're putting up a pretty good fight against this Toros offense and defense.
They really haven't had any crazy insane plays. That play from Bodley 33 yards was really one of the biggest in the game. Haven't had really too many defensive breakdowns. Haven't had any turnovers. They've played a decent game, especially as undermanned and undersized as they are against a 6-1 Mountain View team being a 1-6 team.
Yeah.
You've liked what you've seen, but hopefully they can maybe get a score here to bring this somewhat close going into halftime. Gerard will make another kickoff. From the 40. And Gerard's kick will be fielded at the 1. And the Wolverines will bring it back out by number 1, Gavin. And he will be pushed out of bounds around the 20 to 25. So a decent return from him, and the Wolverines will start off deep in their own territory.
Yeah, great run there from Gavin. Running through that Toros defense, and we saw a little bit of a collision there from 2 players on Mountain View. So
Yeah, big hit there.
able to really keep Mountain View on their toes and just trying to go all out in that defensive run.
And Aiden Vasquez will be back out there for Tolleson as he sets up in shotgun. 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. We'll call for motion from Austin. And we'll fake the pitch to Austin and hand it off to Mitchell, who will be tackled after about 2 yards as he cut it up. And nice tackle there made by the Toros. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
A little bit of regrouping here from the Wolverines. Toros look ready.
And Mitchell will come out for a play. Don't know if he was hit hard. He's walking to the sideline with his head down. So substitution at running back. In shotgun on 2nd down and 7. 3:12 to go in the game. Vasquez will drop back, going to fire one, and just going to dump one off to his tight end. He'll try to get to the edge, and he won't find the edge. He'll be pushed out of bounds for about no gain. Looking for number 22, Anthony Scott Jr. Actually, he's running back, excuse me. He's the backup, but he's a big guy as opposed to other running backs. So, in a way, it almost looks like a slot wide receiver or a tight end. So, 3rd down and long here. 3rd down and about 7 for the Wolverines. 2:40 to go. And this is one of those plays where you're almost definitely going to go to the air. And I think right now, if you're Aiden Vasquez, you're most likely looking at your number 1 target, Rico Blasting right now. He's had a great game, and he's been his big target on 3rd down and long, so I would expect to see him potentially get the ball. He's lined up in the slot at the bottom of your screen. In shotgun again, 3rd down and 7. And pressure comes. Vasquez will evade it, and he will slide down after pickup of 5. Late hit. Tolleson's coach is looking for a late flag. We won't get it, but it'll be 4th down and 2 from the 30. And decision to make here in a blowout of a game, but Tolleson will end up punting it on 4th down and 2. 1:45 to go, high snap, but the punt is off, no problem. And Mountain View will pick it up at the 37. Ran back by number 1 for them. That's Zachary Galvez, and he will cut his way, breaks a tackle at the 40, and will get all the way down to the 36. There is a flag in the backfield, so we'll see what that's about. Looks like it's going to be coming back.
Yeah, good run there from Galvez for the Mountain View Toros, but looks like we will be resetting.
And yep, going to be heading back after that flag was thrown on the Mountain View side. And a lot of penalties here for Mountain View. And there will be another one on special teams as they have really struggled. 3 different penalties.
Yeah.
3 different times that they have been penalized on when Tolleson is punted away. Not what you want to see, and it's not a clean game,
No.
which is what the goal of the team was. So if you're Mountain View, despite the 23-point lead, I think you still got to be a little bit frustrated heading into halftime because, you know, all of these mistakes.
Yeah, and it's definitely got to be a deterrent confidence for the Mountain View Toros and a little bit of a gain in confidence for the Wolverines.
Because, yeah.
But the Toros, you know, don't put it past them to still play a pretty seamless game. May not be clean, but it'll definitely do the job.
Mm-hmm. And they will take over from their own 40-yard line. Goodman in shotgun. He's got 1 minute and 30 to work with and a timeout. We'll call for Galvez in motion. He'll line up in the slot. Bodley moves to his left. In shotgun, he'll roll out to his left. Pressure from Tolleson almost sacked him, and he's just going to have to run it himself. He'll bounce to the edge, and he'll pick up about 5. And he stays in bounds, so the clock is going after run. Nice tackle there made by the Wolverines by Christian Nuko.
Yeah, great job from Brady Goodman, though, for the Toros. Just able to trick out that defense there.
And they'll find him open, looking for number 13 for Mountain View. It'll be incomplete, looking for Talon Arnett, who caught the touchdown there. Unfortunately, it looks like he slipped down there, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 3rd down and 5. And a big opportunity to get the stop here if you're Tolleson. Pretty much cannot allow another score at the end of this half, especially considering that Mountain View gets the ball to start the second half. It'll be in shotgun. Calls for the motion of Galvin. And he'll take the pass in shotgun. Hands it off to Bodley. He will bounce to the edge, get the first down at the 45, and will be pushed out of bounds at the 43 with 53 seconds left on the clock. A great run by Bodley, but would expect nothing less of him considering how good he's played today. And that'll move the chains.
Yeah, for sure. A big point for the Toros in the last 45 seconds that they have in the second quarter is to just go out and do the best that they can to keep gaining these yards.
And the clock was still running despite being out of bounds. So the refs are stopping it and they're coming together to talk. Looks like Tolleson is conferring with some of the refs. They're confused and they're yelling up at the press box on what to put on the clock. So I think the clock was accidentally running, so it should give it more time than it actually is. Yeah, they'll settle with 50 seconds. So Goodman will set back up in shotgun. Going to move some motion out there. He has no running back. Bodley's lined up as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. And he'll move a screen pass there. And Sumko's going to throw one deep. And he finds Arnett. Sumko to Arnett. What a big pass. And he's tackled down at the 19. And a backwards pass there by Goodman to Sumko. And Sumko founds Arnett. And man, what a play there. What a trick play. He was tackled inbounds, so Mountain View will call a timeout. What a play.
Of frustration there.
Yeah.
From the sideline of the Wolverines.
Potentially thought that it was a forward pass. It will be ruled that it was a backward pass, so Sumko is still technically allowed to throw that one forward. And man, what a pass by the wide receiver, Mikey Sumko, to find Arnett, the talented wide receiver for them, who's got another big catch there for a big pickup. And that moves it down to the 19. 39 seconds to go. As we are starting to come back from this timeout.
Yeah, and Mountain View with the advantage to get as close as they can to this end zone to end the second quarter.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive they get here, if they want to really try for that end zone or if they're content with a field goal here. But plenty of time, 40 seconds, and we're ready to go here. Goodman lined up in shotgun. 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. And moves Bodley up to his right. He'll pass this one. Gonna find Galvis there, and he will run out of bounds after a pickup of about 5 or so. Just an easy little pass there to Galvis, and taking advantage of the soft coverage late in the game. Late in the half.
Yeah, good stuff from the Toros as we reach the end of the second quarter with 30 seconds left on the game clock. Just all-out effort.
Second down and 5. Goodman in shotgun. And he's going to dump this one off to number 2, Sumko. Sumko's going to fight to get to the end zone. He'll be tackled at the 2. And the clock will be stopped as Mountain View is going to take a timeout with 22 seconds left. A great catch by Sumko, who is a bit slow to get up. But a great catch by them and a great fight to almost get into that end zone. Unfortunately, he'll be stopped a couple yards short, and we'll go to timeout.
Yeah, so we see the Toros are gaining momentum near the end of the second quarter, and
looking to really break this one out. Yep. 23 points. If they could get another touchdown here, it could potentially be 30 points, and then it really becomes tough to come back, especially considering that they will get the ball to start the second half, and considering how good their offense has been, could potentially add more points.
Yeah. Perfect night for some Friday night football out here. Not a lot of wind, but a lot of energy from the crowd, so good vibes out here.
Love that on
Tolleson.
senior night. Yeah. And they're ready to go here. on what will be first down and goal from the Tolleson 3-yard line. And Mountain View will start off with a interesting huddle, and they will run with a bunch-up formation, Goodman and shotgun, and we are going to get a timeout on Tolleson. They were a bit confused by that formation, and we will do another timeout. So both teams using up their timeouts because they're use it or lose it at this point, and we'll take it.
Yeah, so back-to-back timeouts here, just really trying to slow the game down.
Get set, yep.
20 seconds left on the clock, so both teams looking to, just
get momentum.
Yeah, get momentum as we
going
near
into the second
halftime.
halftime. Yep. So Mountain View has no timeouts left, which is important for how they call plays because they know that if they run the ball with Bodley up the middle and he doesn't get a touchdown, the clock will still run. So I think what we will most likely see is that they're going to a pass, knowing that if it's incomplete, the clock will stop. And I think some important names to look for Mountain View for potential targets are number 1 and number 2, Zachary Galvis and Mikey Sumko.
Yeah.
Those have been some of the biggest targets, especially on this drive and at this point in the game. So they're going to go with the same play. They've got Arnett and Sumko at the top of your screen and a bunch of formation. They'll move Bodley to the left of him. Goodman will take the snap, roll out to his left, looking for Arnett in the end zone. He made the catch. Is he in there? He is.
It looks like
and
that will
Arnett
be a touchdown.
will have his second touchdown of the game. That is now number 16 on the year as he is having a fantastic season. Talon Arnett, the star for Mountain View. And it is now 35-6, 13.2 seconds left on the clock. And they will attempt the extra points to try to make this one 30. Absolute dominance by Mountain View here in this first half.
Yeah.
And just what a great game out of Brady Goodwin. What a great game out of Talon Arnett.
Yeah,
and
just really finding those connections.
And it's been so many different wide receivers for them, including the running back Bodley. As Gerard is out here, ready to attempt the PAT. And he says perfect. And it is 35-6. And with 13.2 seconds left on the clock, Mountain View will punt this one, or kick this one back to Tolleson, who won't have really any time to do anything. So we're pretty much set for halftime here. But a great first half by Mountain View, both offensively and defensively. Got to really like what you saw here, outside of some of the miscues. But overall, the fact that they've still been able to maintain this lead despite those mistakes shows that a lot of confidence for going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Despite the fact that we haven't really seen the clean game that Andy Linton wanted to see from his team tonight, we're still seeing a really good offensive and defensive run from the Toros.
And Gerard is ready to kick this one away. And man, they are, with how many touchdowns they're scoring, they're really working their kicker tonight. I'm pretty sure this is his sixth or seventh kick of the half. And back deep to receive are the Wolverines. And another decent kick. This one will be fielded. It'll go into the end zone. It'll be another touchback. And with 13 seconds on the clock, Tolleson will have a chance for some late half heroics, or they might just kneel this one out. Toros to receive the second half kick.
Yeah, great job from John Girard tonight for the Toros with, I believe you said, his 6th kill in this first half of the game tonight. And he's done amazing, and he's found a lot of success in his routine that he has going on as well.
Yeah, he's been perfect from PATs, 5 for 5, or excuse me, 4 for 4 with the one 2-point conversion that they attempted. And all of his kicks have pretty much either gone for touchbacks or have been right at the 2, as the Wolverines will just run this one right into the ground. And with that, the final seconds will tick off of the first half. It is Mountain View 36, and the home Tolleson team at senior night having a struggle fest, 6 points. 36-6 into halftime, but don't go anywhere. After we take a quick break, we'll be back with the first half recap here on the Varsity Sports Network.
I'm Griffin Engelberg reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. At the Columbus Blue Jackets home opener, the team came together to commemorate the lives of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, who tragically passed in a car accident on August 29, 2024. It was a night filled with emotion and reflection, with players, coaches, and fans and family members remembering Johnny's passion for hockey and his bond with his teammates. The pregame ceremony featured both teams, including the Florida Panthers wearing number 13 jerseys in honor of Johnny. The tribute began with a 13-second moment of silence, symbolizing Johnny's jersey number. Fans watched a touching video montage featuring photos and memories of the Gaudreau brothers, highlighting their lives on and off the ice. As the video played, Johnny's wife Meredith and their two children, Noah and Johnny, stepped onto the ice. The crowd rose in support as a banner commemorating Johnny's life and career was raised to the rafters of the nationwide arena. To further mark the occasion, the Blue Jackets started the game with only 4 skaters on the ice, leaving Johnny's usual spot empty. His longtime friend and teammate, Sean Monahan, took the opening faceoff, a moment filled with emotional significance. Monahan later scored a goal, falling to the ice before pointing at Johnny's banner, a gesture that connected deeply with fans and players alike. Monahan expressed afterward how he felt Johnny's presence throughout the game, emphasizing the impact Johnny had on his friends, teammates, and the hockey world. This was Griffin Engelberg reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. Thank you for your time.
Saturday, November 2nd, the Ohio State Buckeyes traveled to the 106,000-seat Beaver Stadium to clash in an all-time matchup with the Penn State Nittany Lions. After a narrow victory against USC, the Nittany Lions come into the matchup as underdogs, despite being at home and undefeated on the season. But there is a reason for that. This Ohio State team is a powerhouse out of the Big Ten that lost a heartbreaker to the number 1 ranked Oregon Ducks. This Buckeyes offense is very dangerous and has weapons at every single position. Will Howard has looked very accurate at QB. Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson are an elite running back 1-2 punch, and receivers Emeka Egbuka and Jeremiah Smith have been 2 top receivers in the country so far. But look out for this Nittany Lion team to make this game interesting. Quarterback Drew Aller has looked stellar so far, along with steady back Nick Singleton, and the leading Penn State receiver actually being tight end Tyler Warren. He put up incredible numbers in an overtime victory against the Trojans from USC. Look for both offenses to come out firing on all cylinders for this game. It might come down to which team can get a big stop at the end of the game to seal the victory and solidify themselves as a top 5 ranked team in the country. For Varsity Sports, I'm Jace Greenke.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Varsity Sports Show. I'm Travis Bradley reporting to you from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. At the midpoint of the season, one thing is clear about the University of Arizona football program. They're not where they'd hoped they'd be. The Wildcats are sporting a less than desirable 3-4 record, and their most recent performance against head coach Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes raised quite a few questions about the program's ability to compete in the Big 12 Conference. Still, there's plenty of things to like about this team, and although their record isn't what they'd imagined it would be earlier this year, you can't deny the performances that some of their players have shown us in the first half of the season. Arizona will finish off their season with 5 consecutive conference matchups, starting off this week against the West Virginia Mountaineers and culminating in an in-state matchup against the 5-2 Arizona State Sun Devils. Quarterback Noah Fafita is currently ranked in the top 25 for passing yards across all conferences, and his wide receiver counterpart Tetairoa McMillan is seated securely in the top 10 for receiving yards. There's still plenty of football left to be played, and we'll see if the Wildcats have what it takes to finish out their season strong. That's all for this week. I'm Travis Bradley, and
The Arizona Cardinals are coming off of a gritty walk-off Monday night win against the Los Angeles Chargers to bring their record to 3-4 on the young season. The Cardinals were led by their ground game as they rushed for 181 yards, 165 of them from James Conner and Kyler Murray. The defense was the story of this game as Jonathan Gannon and his defense had a much-needed bounce-back performance, not allowing a single touchdown and only allowing 15 points compared to the 34 they allowed against the Packers. They currently sit at second in the NFC West and just one game back of the Seattle Seahawks. The Cardinals have a tough task ahead of them, coming off of a short week as they head across the country to face the 2-4 Miami Dolphins, who are in much need of a win. The Dolphins, who have struggled so far to score, have reinforcements on the way as star quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is back after missing 4 weeks due to a concussion he suffered in Week 2 against the Buffalo Bills. With weapons all around him, the Dolphins will look to get back to their explosive ways, especially with Tyreek Hill being back with his quarterback. Both of these teams could use a win, so this game is going to be one to watch, as a loss really puts both teams in a tough spot. Cardinals will look to get rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. going again, as he has been held silent ever since his massive 130-yard and 2-touchdown performance in Week 2 against the Los Angeles Rams. Reporting for Varsity Sports, I'm Sam Lanier.
Hi everyone, I'm Roberto Astorga from Arizona State University with the Varsity Sports Show. With November coming, Arizona high school football enters playoff season. The best teams compete for state titles. In 4A, there is a team that is undefeated and ranked number 1 by AZ Preps 365. They are the Snowflake Lobos. They represent the entire city of Snowflake, Arizona and the northwestern part of it. Being around 3 hours away from Phoenix, they have traveled to Show Low, Gilbert, Tempe, and even the Santan Valley on their undefeated season. Earlier in the season, I spoke with head coach Kay Solomon. He shared with me his goal of developing his athletes into good students and citizens. On the field, he is shooting for a region title and to contend for the conference. The Lobos are doing just that, being first in the region and in the entire conference. Coach Solomon also shared that his team was filled with experienced players. His players have been terrific, with senior running back Canton Turley having 8 rushing touchdowns. On the defense, senior linebacker Aiden Core leads the team with 14 tackles a game. Their starting quarterback, sophomore Jacob Leduc, is one of the team's least experienced players, according to Solomon. Leduc looks like he's been playing for years, as he has 10 total touchdowns. The Lobos have a great coach and talented players. They represent their city with pride and have taken over the White Mountains. They look to take over Arizona with the 4A state championship. For the Varsity Sports Show, Roberto is.
I'm Julia Coyne at Arizona State University with the Varsity Sports Show. The Arizona State hockey team is currently 1-4-1, with it being their first year in the incredible National Collegiate Hockey Conference. Before, they were in the American Collegiate Hockey Association. ASU has been in the top 25 several times in their last couple of years. On Friday and Saturday night, they will be traveling to Marquette to play Northern Michigan. Northern Michigan is currently 1-3 in these preseason games. They have played each other in the past, and the Sun Devils have won both times in 2023 and in 2018. Last season, Arizona State went 24-8-6, and Northern Michigan went 12-16-6. Though Arizona State did better than last year, we don't know what to tell when they travel this year to Michigan. With seniors like Matthew Copperud leading the team, the Devils have a decent shot. Copperud tied for 4th in the NCAA in scoring 23 goals and broke the Sun Devils' high record of power plays. The Wildcats also has new freshman Billy Renfro, who had 20 goals and 32 assists for a total of 52 points. This preseason game is going to be interesting to watch for both teams. On the road for the Sun Devils, it's going to be a more difficult game. With the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Julia Coyne.
Hey, what's up, Varsity Sports Show? I'm Quentin Presley from Arizona State University, and today's segment is going to focus over to Chandler, where the Arizona Compass Prep Dragons get ready for one of the most interesting seasons in high school basketball. Let's get right into it. Led by 5-star recruits Quincy Wadley, Mika Marinin, and Arizona's own Caden House, the Dragons are stacked with talent from both sides of the floor. They pose an intimidating threat of height, playmaking, and shooting at all positions, making them tough to game plan for. Their official schedule states that they will be playing 4 games this season, all against schools from different states, from the East Coast in Maryland and Virginia to the West with Cali and AZ. Although they've been playing as a team since as early as August, these are the games that will determine where they will fall in the fight for a state championship. That's all for this one. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Once again, from Arizona State University, for the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Quentin Presley.
into this game, has added a couple more. Go on. What happened next?
Yeah, next, number 4, Bodley with the touchdown, getting the Mountain View Toros up in the first quarter again, 14-0.
Yeah, so Mountain View got the ball right back, and they went right to their run game. Reese Bodley had a monster game last week, 318 yards on the ground. He's averaging 10.7 on the season, and he continued to have a really nice game.
Next, number 2 for Tolleson, blasting game with the touchdown with just 3 seconds left in the first quarter, getting them up on the board 6-14.
Yeah, it was a huge gutsy call there by the Tolleson coach with 3 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah.
On 4th down and 18 on the Mountain View 20, he decided to go for it, and Rico Blasingame was found by Aiden Vasquez on a great pass, and Blasingame added his 5th touchdown on the season. Blasingame is a huge part of this Tolleson offense, and he's bringing in currently 16 Division I offers, not just from football, but from basketball and track. He's a 3-sport athlete, and man, it really shows there on the field.
Yeah. Next, in the second quarter, we saw Bodley again with his second touchdown on the night with 8 minutes and 22 seconds left on the clock, getting the Mountain View Toros up again 20-6.
Yeah, so Mountain View was really able to respond there after a couple penalty miscues,
Yeah.
and we're able to go back to Bodley. Bodley was able to find his 2nd touchdown of the game. That is now his 8th touchdown, and he's just having a fantastic season.
Next, number 13 Arnett for the Mountain View Toros scored a touchdown in the last couple of minutes in the second quarter, 26-6.
Yeah, and it was a really interesting play there. Sumko hit the wide receiver Sumko on a backwards pass, hit Arnett, and he was able to find his way in the end zone. That's his now 15th touchdown, but it doesn't end there for Arnett. Keep going.
Yeah, so lastly, number 13 Arnett with another touchdown with 13 seconds left on the clock. That would be his 2nd touchdown on the night, like you said, bringing the score that we currently have 36-6.
Yeah, and a big game out of Arnett. He's been able to find the end zone twice, despite not really having a ton of catches. He did the same thing very similarly last week, where he only had 4 catches for 115 yards. He averages 24 yards per catch. Arnett, he's just a great guy to run after the catch, be able to break some tackles. Just an incredibly shifty guy. We are right about at the end of halftime, and we will take a quick break, and we'll be back right before the second half starts. I'm here with the Varsity Sports Show. We'll take a break. And we are back here ready for the second half action and a 36-6 first half that was dominated by Mountain View. We're ready to go for the second half. Mountain View is set to receive. Something that is interesting to note here, in a 30-point game, AIA rules say that in a 35 or more point game, it is a running clock, which means this clock does not stop on any out-of-bounds play or incompletion. If Mountain View to score a touchdown, as they've done pretty much on every drive here, it would be a 35 or more point game, and therefore the clock would run a lot faster, making the second half go a lot faster. So interesting to see that.
Yeah.
For the Wolverines, while this game might be out of reach, senior night, they got to go out with dignity. They're playing for a lot. Bit of an onside kick in a way, and Mountain View's going to pick that one up, and they will run that forward. And that is number 12 with a great return, Nehemiah Arumbi, the defensive back, picking that one up and just shutting down that onside kick. And Mountain View will start with great field position at the 41 of the Wolverines.
Yeah, we're hoping to see a little bit more of a cleaner game, like we mentioned in the first half. Andy Litton in the pregame interview said he wanted a cleaner game, so maybe we could see a little bit of a reset in the Toros, although they had a really good first half coming into the second half with more of that cleaner game mindset.
Just dominate this one. And it should be encouraging for the Toros that despite having all of those miscues, they are still able to win this, or be leading this one 30 points.
Yeah.
But I think the focus right now is just don't let any silly things happen like those penalties.
Yeah, and it shows their strength coming back from those penalties that were called against them in that first half.
A lot of mental strength there. And Goodman will start off with a pitch to Galvis. He will cut it back and find a zone, and it'll go to the 20, all the way down to the 10. Will be tackled at the 7. What a run there by Zachary Galvis, the number 1 wide receiver, pretty much in this game right now, and he's had a really nice night. And he's having a really nice season.
Yeah, really good communication there from Brady Goodman to Zachary Galvis. You know, he was running right in front of Goodman as Goodman handed off that ball to him, and he was able to find all the gaps in that Wolverines defense.
Great play there by the offensive line as well as Galvis, and they'll run a very similar play to Arnett. They're going to flip it back to Galvis. Galvis on the exact same play. Can he find the end zone? It's going to be close. They will rule him just a bit short. But regardless, another great play from Galvis.
Yeah.
It'll be second down and goal from the very close to the end zone. So this should be a pretty easy, quarterback sneak here.
Yeah. And we've seen a lot of success for the Toros this close to scoring a touchdown.
Got it in all the times that they've been down here.
Yeah.
It'll be quarterback keeper, Goodman. No problem. He's in there for his first rushing touchdown of the night. It is now 42-6, and hello to the running clock.
So we will see a lot of a way faster second half here. And we'll see what the Wolverines can do coming back from this really early score.
Yeah, it only took 1 minute and 5 seconds, 3 plays, and a great drive from Zachary Galvis. Had 2 rushes technically, because neither of them was a forward pass on those pitches. And he got down about 40 yards in about 2 plays, and then eventually Goodman able to just get in that easy 1-yard score, getting behind those offensive linemen. Great drive from the Toros, and Gerard is out there trying to stay perfect on his PATs. He's 4 for 4 on the night.
Yeah, and he does a really good job. He's really focused, and that really shows with his success that he's had.
There's going to be a whistle at the start. It'll be an offsides on the defense. So Tolleson encroaches on that play. That'll make it a slightly easier kick. We'll see if they maybe want to go for 2 because it will be shorter.
Yeah.
With the penalty.
And we've seen success from them running a 2-point conversion early on in that first quarter.
That's right. They were 1 for 1 on that conversion as they ran a very weird formation and were able to get it in there on Arnett's play. And they will move a big change in personnel, so you would have to think that they're going to go, and they have Goodman and Bodley out there. They're going to run a bunch of formation, and they're going to go for 2. Hand off to Bodley, no surprise, no problem. That offensive line just creates a gaping hole, and Bodley finds it. It is now 44-6. We've got a 38-point game, and the Wolverines will get the ball back. But absolute domination from this Mountain View team, and just a great game out of Brady Goodwin, both with his arms and running football, able to get a touchdown with his legs there.
Yeah, and with the high level of play that the Toros bring to 6A, also the fact that they will be making playoffs this year, just shows their comfortability as a team, and the fact that they're able to run that 2-point conversion with such confidence.
And
just shows how good of a team that they are.
So 44-6, Gerard will be kicking this one deep to the Wolverines. Gerard's had quite a few touchbacks on his many kicks and has had a lot of success with that. One of the, traits that if you can do that as a high school kicker, especially at this lower level, it's very valuable, and we'll see if you could potentially kick at a higher level. As this one is back deep, it'll be fielded at about the 1. Bringing up the right side is the Wolverines. He'll find a gap there. He'll get to the 30. This is the best return that they've had all night. He'll get all the way down to the 45. A great return by the Wolverines and a sign of some offensive life from them.
Yeah, we've seen Quentin Gavin be able to catch that ball, and he hadn't had much success throughout the night, but that one, like you said, was his best run of the night, able to gain from the goal up until the 50-yard line.
Yep, and it'll be officially spotted about the 47, so return of about 45 yards or so, and he's got to feel good about that one. And great blocking there, and the Wolverines will start with some of the best field position that they've had all night. In shotgun is Aiden Vasquez. 1st and 10. And they'll run with some motion. And they will pitch it to Gavin, and he is just going to be shut down. That is going to be a loss of about 5. Tried to pitch that one to Gavin, and there was nothing going. Offensive line breakdown there for the Wolverines.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of runs that have resulted in a loss of yards tonight. So, and both teams have done a really good job at coming back from them.
Yeah.
But tonight, especially in the second half, now that we do, I believe, have a running clock.
Should, yep.
We'll see how the Wolverines right now can handle that.
2nd down and 14 after the loss of 4. Vasquez in shotgun again. 2 wide receivers on both sides of him. He'll drop back. Look into his left and looking for Rico Cunningham, and he's not going to find him. Almost intercepted by Jasper Lake, the safety, and he just could not come down with that. And just a really misplaced ball there by Vasquez. Would have been his first interception of the night. Unfortunately for the Wolverines, it will fall unharmed. It'll be 3rd down and 14. And Vasquez back with the play call. And a timeout is going to be called by the Wolverines. They're just going to get something set offensively.
Yeah,
And
a little bit of a reset.
on 3rd down and 14, they're going to look to get something going at least. And this will be their first time out of the half. And right now, I think if you're the Wolverines, you're looking to dial up a play to Rico Blasingame. We saw him a lot earlier in the game. He has a touchdown, their only touchdown of the game. Leads them in catches right now. I think right now, 3rd down and long, we've seen, especially in this type of situation, that Vasquez is going to go to him. I think they expect to do the same thing here.
Yeah, and they just have a lot of comfortability with him.
Absolutely.
So I feel like the Wolverines just staying comfortable at this point in the game is really key.
And just figuring out how to go home with some type of good film, despite it being a blowout. But 3rd down and 14. Vasquez in shotgun. He'll call for the motion of Gavin. He'll drop back. Pressure from Mountain View. They're going to sack him. And way back in the backfield. And that'll be a loss of about 7. As Vasquez goes down, it'll be 4th down and super long. This will be a punt, and Mountain View will get the ball back. And dejectedly, Aiden Vasquez will walk off the field again.
Yeah, great defense like we've seen all night from the Mountain View Toros, able to rush the quarterback for the Wolverines, taking away any sort of momentum that they might have had.
Ooh, a fair catch called for, and it's going to be blown up by number 34 for the Wolverines. Just a bit of a dirty play there, and flags will immediately fly onto the field. They're easy flag there, and just a frustrating penalty there called by what will be called by Andrew Gonzalez, the senior defensive back.
Yeah, a little bit of exchange of words there.
Yeah.
From the Wolverines and the Toros. Getting to the point of frustration early on in this 3rd quarter is not really what we want to see, but it just shows that these two teams are fired up and
it's not going their way. You got to be a little bit frustrated. And on that fair catch, Gonzalez, just to clarify, kind of ran into him and bumped into him, and that's an easy call for them. And that should move it all the way forward. Would have been placed relatively deep into Mountain View territory, but instead will be brought all the way out to the Wolverine 47 and will be some of the best field position that Mountain View has had all night. So another opportunity for Brady Goodman, the quarterback who's been pretty flawless all night. He'll start off in shotgun, 2 wide receivers on both sides. And they'll run some motion from Sean Mangerfier. And he will hand this one off to number 14. It's a new running back for them, and he will jump all the way out there. He's going to find an easy gap. That's going to go for a touchdown. Touchdown, Steve Meadow, the wide receiver, running as a running back here, and he will find a big hole for a touchdown. And, man, what a nice run from him. The backup running back coming in now in the blowout.
Yeah.
And great for him for getting in there. He had 69 rushing yards and a touchdown last week. And good for him for getting in there.
Yeah, great job there from Meadow. Able to find that end zone. Hyped up after that touchdown, too.
And it shows the strength of this Mountain View offensive line that they're able to have such success, not only with Reese Bodley, their starting running back, who is obviously incredibly dominant, as you've seen with his 2 touchdowns, but also with their backup, Steve Meadow, who has not played all night and gets in the game. And his first snap, it's going to be a 47-yard touchdown and make it 50-6. Gerard's extra point is no problem. He's 6 for 6. It's 51-6 with 8:29 to go in the third quarter. And with 3.5 minutes into the third quarter, we've already seen 2 scores from Mountain View.
Yeah.
They wasted no time. They really got a bunch of scores at the end of the second half and then have transitioned that momentum into here. They look, flawless right now.
Yeah, definitely living up to that cleaner game that we've wanted to see throughout the night.
Absolutely. Only penalty in this half has been against the Wolverines, and Mountain View did a great job taking advantage of this. Just looking like a team that is in control. So Mountain View will make another kickoff again from John Gerard after the big touchdown from Steve Meadow.
Another routine from Gerard for the Toros as he gets ready to kick.
I mean, with how many touchdowns they've scored, they're starting to tire him out there.
Yeah.
And another decent kick. It'll be fielded. It'll be a touchback. Another touchback for him. And the Wolverines will start out on the 20. And it'll be another drive there for number 19, Aiden Vasquez, as he hopes to get some type of offensive momentum going. Even if you don't win the game, which, it's going to be pretty tough to do,
Yeah.
you still come away with some positive film and something to look back on.
Yeah, for sure. And we've seen a lot of effort from the Wolverines tonight, despite the fact of them being down.
Yeah. So Vasquez starts off in shotgun, doubles on both sides, and he will hand this one off to Amari Mitchell, who will be stopped after a pick of about 1 or so. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Great stop from the Toros.
Yeah, continuing to just have that stout defensive line, led by many different guys. We talked about Tabita Tase, or the head coach of Mountain View talked about him, and just the strength that he has. Had a big game last week and has continued to look stellar, number 52, on that defensive line tonight. Second down and 9. Vasquez in shotgun. 3 wide receivers at the bottom. You're seeing the pass. It goes through his hands, and he will be forced to go back and fall on it. It'll be a huge loss, and number 9, Caleb Larson, and for Mountain View, ended up falling on him for the sack. And that is a huge loss for the Wolverines.
Yeah. Especially that they need to start gaining momentum at this point in the second half, given that there's 17 minutes on the clock left in this third quarter.
7.
Sorry.
It's all right. Yeah.
That's what I meant. Getting late out here. It's past my bedtime. Just kidding.
But 3rd down and 22 after that errant snap, which results in a loss of 13. Vasquez is way backed up. He'll stay in shotgun, and he drops back. And he will fire across the field looking for his big man. Oh, and he's got a big catch all the way out to the 45. It's number 18 for Terrion Clark, who has been targeted just a couple times, but a huge pickup there. It's 36 yards, and what a catch by number 18, the big guy.
Yeah, great job from Clark, just being open, pretty deep in the field, gaining a lot of yardage for the Wolverines, just what they needed.
Yeah, big pickup there on third down and super long, and a great pass there by Vasquez. And it looks like there is going to be some kind of, I don't know, they're moving the sticks very, very far. I don't know if there was a penalty after the play, but either way, the Wolverines will get really, really good field position after. It's all the way down to the 39 of Mountain View.
Yeah.
And Vasquez will pick up in shotgun from first down and 10. And we're going to get a whistle here. And they're ready to go here. In shotgun, Vasquez will hand it off to Amari Mitchell, who will bounce to the right side, and he's going to find nothing. Great job there by number 9, Caleb Larson, the defensive end, getting another tackle for loss, and he's been amazing tonight. And he's someone that coming into this game had 32 tackles on the season, 9 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. Just elite. Unfortunately, we do have a player down for the Wolverines. And they will tend to him. And with that being said, we will take a break. And we are back after that injury timeout. The injured player for the Wolverines was Amari Mitchell, the running back. He's able to walk off on his own accord with a bit of limping. So our hopes and prayers go out to him. Able to jog off right now, so looks like he's okay.
Yeah,
just
good sign.
wincing and about in pain. But the Wolverines will pick back up with a screen pass to Gavin, and he's going to be shut down for another tackle for loss there, as nothing is happening now for the Wolverines. And that'll bring it to a third down and long. It's going to be a third down and 18 or so after that tackle for loss. A great job there by that Mountain View defense.
Yeah, continuing the great defense for the Toros will just be key for the rest of this game.
And Amari Mitchell is being replaced by Scott Jr., who's in the backfield. He's going to take a deep shot looking for Rico. And Rico will be incomplete, but there's a flag coming in. And there's a clear pass interference as he was looking for his number 1 passing target, Rico Blasingame, the junior wide receiver. And there's an easy defensive pass interference, and that'll move the sticks. And another third down and long that Aiden Vasquez, really one of his strengths tonight, has actually been like converting this. Despite only 6 points, he's looked great in these, third down, fourth down, and longs.
Yeah, Vasquez has done a great job at just at least trying to keep those connections, just allowing his players to try again, despite the fact that they might not have been able to complete the pass. And that's really key to making his receivers comfortable.
Yeah. And unlike college and NFL rules, even if it is a pass interference that is more than 15 yards, it does not become a first down. So it'll be third down and 3. Even though it's not a first down, it's much more manageable for Vasquez and Scott Jr. in the backfield. And Vasquez will throw one over the middle. It'll be incomplete, looking for number 17 there. That is Manny Gomez-Llanos, had a couple catches so far, and it'll be 4th down. Decision to make here. 4th down and 2 from the 31. And it looks like they are going to be strong and go for it. And a big 4th down here. Need 2 yards to get the first down. Scott Jr. stays out there and replacing Amari Mitchell in shotgun. Vasquez is going to drop back, pressured, and he will roll out to his left. Pressured again, he'll try to fire one off, and it is going to be incomplete, and they will turn that over on downs, looking for a couple different receivers and just couldn't find them. And looked like he might have been going after Blasting Game on the bottom of your screen, who appears to be slow to get up. He will eventually get up, and Mountain View will take over.
Yeah, it looks to be a little bit shaken up there on the sideline, number 2.
And don't know if that might be just a bit of frustration after another incomplete pass, or hopefully he's not actually hurt. But we'll keep an eye on him as well as Amari Mitchell and hope that they will both be back and ready for the next drive. With that being said, the running clock is in effect, so this is going pretty fast. And we have 3:30 left on the game as Mountain View takes over on their own 31. And it appears to be a new quarterback, Brody Snyder, number 17, who's in there, as he will hand that ball off, and they won't get much. Pick up about 2 for the Mountain View Toros, and it'll be 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, and one big thing for the Wolverines is coming back from the player injuries that they've experienced pretty late in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy losing not 1, but now 2, especially Blasting Game, who has been their saving grace. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they can come back from that.
And it'll be 2nd down and 8. Snyder, the backup in shotgun. And he'll take the handoff, give it off from number 14 for the Toros, and he will bust forward for about 5 or so. And number 14, that is Steve Meadow, the backup running back. Had a touchdown, really big touchdown on his first run, and then puts together a solid pickup of about 5 to make it 3rd down and short.
Yeah, just great effort, especially given that he's backup.
Yeah. A really strong Toros offensive line, and that leads plenty of big gaping holes for Meadow and, of course, Bodley. 3rd down and short. Snyder in shotgun. Meadow stays to his left. Going to give it to Meadow, and no, he'll take it himself. And what a great fake out of Snyder.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that ball was given to Meadow. I thought that ball was.
Yeah, got me good.
And he's able to pick up a 1st down and get it out to about the 47 or 48. What a great run from him, but what a great fake, man.
Yeah, and the Toros have just been amazing at
play deception.
Their plays. Yeah, they faking the handoffs to that just proves that they're an all-around good team.
And that's communication.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot stronger in the second half, not having those flags and being able to execute plays like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Minute to go here in the 3rd. Snyder in shotgun at about the 48. Calls for motion of Porter Wilhelm. Wilhelm will move back. And he'll move Meadow up. In shotgun, he's going to roll out to his right. He'll look to pass this one. He'll just take it himself, and he will run this one out of bounds after a pick of about 7. Another good run for Brody Snyder. And Snyder played a little bit last game. Went 2 for 2 with 14 yards in the blowout against Mesa. So he's used in like these types of situations and blowouts. 3 for 6, 33 yards. No touchdowns yet, and an interception on the season. So hoping to build some more stats, and he's looked good, especially on the ground so far.
Yeah.
2nd down and 3. Snyder under center. And he will take it, and he will hand it off to Meadow, who will find a hole on the right side, and he will bust forward for a 1st down and make it to about the 35. That's a pick of about 10, and it's another 1st down for the Mountain View Toros. And the clock winds down, and we'll head to the 4th quarter. It is Mountain View Toros 50. They add another 2 touchdowns led by Meadow.
Yeah.
And the Tolleson not able to score in that third quarter, and we will head to the fourth quarter in a 44-point deficit. And we are back here for the start of the fourth quarter after a couple rushing touchdowns in the third quarter. Quick recap. First Brady Goodman and then the backup Steve Meadow getting in there. And Mountain View will take over on the first down, and they will hand it up the middle to number 36. That is Coy Bodley, the in relation to the starting running back. That's, of course, Reese Bodley. And he will pick up a couple. And just a really deep running game. We see both the Bodley brothers and then, of course, Steve Meadow all got in time and all got in yards today. So great to see the diverse personnel.
Yeah.
And the Mountain View Toros in no rush, especially with the running clock and their big lead. No need to pour on the points, so they're taking it slow. Snyder under center. He'll roll out on play action and look deep and incomplete. Looking for Cash Skuzin, the defensive back / wide receiver who's playing in relief. And he plays on both sides of the ball, defensive back and wide receiver, and has had 5 tackles on the season. There is going to be a penalty on the Wolverines, and that'll bring them back. So it'll be a positive play for Mountain View, and they'll pick up some yardage.
Yeah, and good effort there from Brody Snyder, who is now in quarterback position in place of Brody Goodman, who has had an amazing game. You know, he found his way off the field, given the fact that they are up by at least 40 points in this second half. So Brody Snyder able to come in off of the momentum that the Toros have been able to build, giving that all-out effort that we want to see.
And with the penalty, it'll make it a first down with 10 minutes to go here. Snyder looking for the play call. And again, Toros in no rush whatsoever. They've got, a huge lead, and with the ball, they're just going to let this clock kind of run its way down. And they're really running this one out. I hear some calls for delay of game.
Yeah, they're really taking this game into their own hands now.
Running that clock down. And Snyder will eventually take the snap under center. Give it up to Coy Bodley. Coy Bodley's going to find his way to the right side to cut back, and he will find his way for the touchdown. And that is now the 4th player to rush for a touchdown for Mountain View. And it is a second Bodley for a touchdown as Coy Bodley with a 17-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Great stuff there from Coy Bodley, who we haven't really seen from tonight until just now, able to come out and get that touchdown.
And Bodley, at least the other one, is operating under the second or third string running back. Had a nice game last week against Mesa where he had 4 carries for 15 yards. On the season, coming into this game, he had 17 carries for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. But now give him another one as Gerard knocks that one through. It's a 57-6 massacre right now by Mountain View Toros. And Tolleson will get the ball back with 9 minutes to go. But just what an amazing effort by the Mountain View Toros, just running the ball so effectively. Brady Goodman's had a rushing touchdown. Reese Bodley had 2 of them. Steve Meadow had another rushing touchdown, and Coy Bodley now with a rushing touchdown. This team just runs the ball so effectively, especially led by that offensive line.
Yeah. Good stuff.
.907 to go here as they start to line up for the kickoff.
We will see John Girard taking the field again for the kick. And this has got to be up in the 10s.
Yeah, he's really made a lot of kickoffs, especially with how many touchdowns Mountain View scored.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's 8 now. Yep, 8. So, I mean, he's had a lot of work, but he's been really effective at getting that ball in the touchback, which is not something you see a lot of high school kickers do. And he'll do another one right there. Very effective and, playing to the strengths of his team. And he's part of the reason why they're 6-1, just being so consistent with that extra point and that kickoff.
Yeah, for sure. Staying consistent, like you said, and just not really showing that he's tired.
Yeah.
Given the fact that he's now kicked 8.
And Tolleson will run out their offense again. And fully running clock now, so it's down to 8 minutes. Looks like we have a change at quarterback. And they will run the ball, and they will not get much. That's going to be a loss of yards. And they are now running an Aaron Arriaga, number 14, who is a freshman quarterback playing on varsity, who is taking his first snaps of his high school career. So for Tolleson right now, you got to be happy that you're at least getting some new fresh faces in there.
Yeah.
And, they on senior night, we'll have a freshman making his debut. So interesting stuff here. Arriaga playing with Scott Jr. in his backfield. And he will take the second down and 11 snap in shotgun. He'll make his first high school pass. It'll be a completion to number 80. And apologies for this, but I do not have
Isaiah Eaton.
There we go. Isaiah Eaton, the wide receiver, who is also making some of his first high school snaps ever. And right now in a blowout, you like to see that we're getting some personnel changes and getting some players in who have not really played much.
Yeah, giving them the opportunity to get their reps in and just really get the experience of what it's like being on the field in a game, and especially against the Mountain View Toros, who are an amazing team.
Yeah.
Just being able to kind of face that type of
competition. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Arriaga will take a third down snap in shotgun and will roll out and make the completion. And the receiver just extended. It is going to be very close. It was a nice catch there made. And they will move the chains, and it'll be a first down. And the Wolverines will now have a first down from about the 30. Yep.
Yeah, great completion there from Arriaga, the freshman quarterback, now in for the Wolverines. He's done a great job so far.
Yep, been perfect on both his two passes, and at this rate, he will never throw an incompletion in his high school career.
Yeah, there you go.
Arriaga in shotgun again. And he'll take the snap and hands it off to Scott, who will bounce to the left, break a tackle, and will find his way out of bounds after a pickup of about 5 or so. And I don't know if Scott Jr. is in simply because of the score or if Amari Mitchell is still a bit banged up. But either way, either one is realistic. Amari Mitchell looked like he was still able to get off the field pretty well there, so hopefully he's doing okay. And it'll be second down in about 6 or so. 5:30 to go in the game.
Really slow game.
Yeah, I mean, but, that's what you're going to get in any kind of blowout.
Yeah.
Both these teams recognizing the clock running down and just ready to get out of here in a way. Yeah. Arriaga in shotgun again. He's got 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. He'll hand it off to Scott again, who will be tackled pretty immediately as he's wrestled down by that defensive line. Bunch of guys got to him.
Yeah, again, just that Mountain View Toros defense just proving to be unstoppable right now.
Yeah. And for Mountain View, assuming that there's no miraculous comeback in these last 5 minutes, we'll improve to 7-1. And they are now looking forward, as we have 2 more weeks after this, as they will look for a chance they will almost definitely be in the 6A playoffs, but maybe even a chance to crack that open division playoffs. And with the way that they've looked right now, you really have to be happy with that. Arriaga is going to take a deep shot, and it's going to be picked off by Toros, looking for number 82, Jose Soto, and it'll be picked off by the Toros. That's number 31, Cash Skuzin, the defensive back wide receiver. He's getting some playing time, and he's looked great. Made a nice tackle earlier and a big interception here. It's the first one of the season for him.
Yeah, a lot of excitement there on the Toros sideline. And like we were talking about earlier, the Mountain View Toros are ranked for playoffs. They are number 11 in the Open, so they definitely do have a shot.
Yeah, and for those of you who do not know how the relatively new AIA playoffs work, the first top 8 teams in all of the state, all of the divisions, 5A, 6A, whatever, they will make the Open division. So they're hanging right around there at the number 11 spot. Obviously, their record's amazing at 7-1. The reason that they're not one of those top 8 teams is likely because of their schedule. Why teams like Brophy and Highland are getting in ahead of them.
Yeah.
But if they can win out there, and maybe Brophy and Highland, some of those teams lose a game, they definitely could find themselves in the Open.
Yeah.
And for a team that's not necessarily brought up as one of the Arizona powerhouses, this would be an incredibly successful season for the Toros. But no matter what, they're going to be playing some type of competitive November football.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of exciting, teams going into that November playoff.
Snyder back out there in shotgun. 3:40 to go, and he will hand this one off to Coy Bodley, who will be tackled after a pickup of about 2 or so on first down and 15.
Yeah, number 7, Xavier Moreno, hopped right on that and was able to tackle.
Nice tackle for Xavier Moreno, as you say, who had an incredible game last week and is one of the highlights of this Wolverines defense, as you said.
Yeah.
38 tackles on the year and 9 tackles for loss and a sack. He's incredible and one of the highlights of their team. And he's had a nice night tonight.
Yeah.
Run some guys in motion, and Bodley will move up to Snyder's right. And they'll move it to Bodley, who will find an easy hole through the left side and will be tackled after a pick of about 5 or so. Nice tackle made there by Parker Foster, who has 15 tackles on the season coming into this game, and made another nice one there in one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, we're still seeing some really good football, despite the fact that we are experiencing a blowout and a running clock.
Yeah, honestly, a bit of a surprise that in the Wolverines in a 57-6 game, that was their first turnover, the interception by Arriaga there.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been able to really keep the ball out of their hands. And, credit to Mountain View that even though they haven't really forced those major mistakes out of Tolleson, they've still been able to win this game by 51 points.
Yeah.
2:10 to go here. Snyder's chilling out in shotgun, just letting that clock run down. And they'll move Bodley up there. Snyder will drop back and fire one off to the sideline where he finds a receiver who will get maybe the first down. And he found number 15. That's John Gerard. And if that name sounds familiar, he is the kicker, but he also is a backup wide receiver. So he really does it all. And nice to see that he is able to get that catch there. And that is his second catch on the season.
Yeah, gotta love the athleticism on the Mountain View Toros.
Yeah, plenty of guys that do it all, like
Skuzin
or even guys like even Coy Bodley actually.
Yeah.
Right now in as running back, but he also takes snaps as safety. And we'll see now that they got the first down after that catch, they will start to kneel this one out and just let that clock run off there. And a big victory by Mountain View. They come in and take care of business. Despite some of those penalties, they, easily win this one and improve to 7-1 after they take down the Wolverines 57-6. After that touchdown that was, that drive was extended by that punt penalty, they were really able to just lock in. Mm-hmm. And after that, no more points were given up. And just a great response by this Mountain View team.
Yeah.
Just a really mature victory, especially in the second half. And able to see some good performances out of the backups. And with that, the teams are meeting at midfield for a handshake. And the final seconds are ticking off on what is a very convincing victory for Mountain View.
Yeah.
Really have to like what you've seen here. And after the game, make sure to stick around for a post-game recap, and then after that, make sure to stay tuned. Someone on the social media will have interviews going up with our player of the game, who he's pretty easily decided was the starting quarterback, Brady Goodman for the Mountain View Toros. Had a really nice passing game where he added 2 touchdowns, 2 different wide receivers, and also added a rushing touchdown with no interceptions. He was virtually flawless outside of a couple of incompletions. So make sure to stay tuned around for that. I'm on the Varsity Sports Show. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back with the full game recap. And we are back here for the post-game recap as Mountain View takes down Tolleson 57-6. I'm Greg Zaber here with the Varsity Sports Show, joined with my co-host Olivia Prickett. Olivia, what players really caught your eye tonight for Mountain View or Tolleson?
Yeah, so for Mountain View, came out, played an amazing game. We saw amazing offense, ran by Brady Goodman, number 5, their quarterback, who is also our player of the game for tonight's match. We saw a really early touchdown in the first quarter to get them up on the board 7-0. He threw that one to Galvez.
Yeah, and Brady Goodman is someone who's played an absolutely phenomenal season. Just a young, pretty sure he's a junior quarterback.
Yeah.
Had an amazing performance last week, had 4 touchdowns. On the season, he now has 27 passing touchdowns. He also added a rushing touchdown, and he put up 3 all-purpose touchdowns tonight, which really phenomenal job out of him. Who else are you highlighting from this one?
Yeah, number 4 for the Mountain View Toros, Reese Bodley, the running back, able to go out and get 2 touchdowns tonight, right, which were both in that first half of the game. He got them up on the board 14-0 in that first quarter, and then again in the second quarter pretty early on to get them to a score of 20-6, and that was his second touchdown.
Yeah, so Reese Bodley, again, someone who had an incredible game last week against Mesa, had 318 yards, and he adds to his season total touchdown, now has 8 touchdowns and adds another bunch of yards. Potentially going to be a candidate for chasing 1,000. He had 718 coming into today's game. He ends up today with about 800, so with 2 games left, he could potentially be having a rare coveted 1,000-yard season, especially as a high schooler. That's very impressive. And something that I just think is very impressive for the Toros is that they know who they're going to, and they know how to run their offense, which is something, especially they go through Bodley and Goodman, and they know how to utilize those guys great. And especially going into November, that's going to be important for the playoffs.
Yeah, and lastly for Tolleson, Rico Blessingame, number 2, the wide receiver, was able to really connect with Aiden Vasquez, the quarterback for Tolleson, and he came out with a touchdown the last 3 seconds of the first quarter and just really stayed strong with his connection.
Yeah, I think that Aiden Vasquez and Rico Blassingame, who is arguably the best player on this Tolleson team, has plenty of D1 offers as well for basketball and track. He's just a natural athlete. Had a great game last week. Struggled a bit early, but found some passes and added a touchdown. He now has 5 on the season. So, as you said, I think he's got a great connection with Aiden Vasquez. And I think that about wraps it up. Perfectly played game here by Mountain View outside of a couple penalties.
Yeah.
And they will look ahead to next week as they try to improve to 8-1 next week. Tolleson is going to take this loss on the chin as they drop to 1-7 on the year and will hopefully end their season with a couple of wins. I'm Greg Zaber here with the Varsity Sports Show.
And I'm Olivia Prickett.
And thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week.